Imagine this. You once ruled the world. Every hand had your product. Every pocket carried your name. And then, in just a few years, you vanished. That's the story of Nokia, a company that went from being the world's biggest mobile brand to a forgotten name in the smartphone era. But what exactly went wrong? Today, we'll uncover how arrogance, denial, and missed opportunities destroyed one of the greatest tech empires in history. This is Nokia, how arrogance killed a giant. To understand Nokia's fall, we first need to understand its rise. Nokia wasn't born as a tech company. In fact, it started way back in 1865 as a paper mill in Finland. Over the next century, it evolved, branching out into rubber, cables, and eventually electronics. But it was the 1990s that changed everything. As mobile technology began to explode across the world, Nokia jumped in early and quickly became a global leader in mobile phones. By 1998, Nokia had overtaken Motorola to become the world's largest phone manufacturer. At its peak, Nokia sold more than 460 million phones in a single year. That's over 1 million phones every single day. Their devices were known for being indestructible, long-lasting, and incredibly reliable, especially the legendary Nokia 3310 and the iconic N series. People didn't just use Nokia phones, they trusted them. So, how does the world's biggest mobile company collapse in just a few years? The answer lies in arrogance. By the mid-2000s, Nokia had everything: market share, distribution, brand power. But inside the company, a dangerous mindset was growing. We're untouchable. When Apple launched the iPhone in 2007, Nokia executives laughed. They believed touchscreen phones were just a fad. They said, people love physical keypads. Why would anyone type on glass? Meanwhile, Google launched Android, a free open source platform that any manufacturer could use. And Nokia's response? We don't need Android. We have our own system, Symbian. But Symbian was a mess. It was built for old keypad phones, not for modern touchscreens. Developers hated it. Consumers found it slow and clunky. And yet, Nokia refused to adapt. Inside the company, things were getting worse. Engineers wanted to innovate, but executives wanted to protect what already worked. Fear of failure, mixed with overconfidence, created a toxic corporate culture. Employees later revealed that bad news rarely reached top management. Everyone was too scared to admit problems. While Apple and Samsung sprinted ahead, Nokia stood still, convinced it was still winning. The truth: the world had already moved on. By 2009, the writing was on the wall. Nokia's profits were falling. Symbian couldn't keep up with iOS or Android. The company needed a miracle. So, they tried a few things. First, they attempted to build a new operating system called MeeGo in partnership with Intel. The result? Too little, too late. It took years to develop. And by the time the first MeeGo phone finally launched, the market had already moved on. Then came a radical move in 2011. Nokia's new CEO, Stephen Elop, made a shocking announcement. Nokia would abandon Symbian and partner with Microsoft. Together, they launched the Windows phones, sleek, colorful devices like the Lumia series. On paper, it looked promising. Microsoft's ecosystem plus Nokia's hardware could have been the perfect comeback. But reality had other plans. Windows Phone had a tiny app ecosystem. Developers didn't want to build apps for a platform no one used. And consumers didn't want a phone. Without apps, it became a vicious cycle. By 2013, Nokia's market share had collapsed to just 3%, down from over 40% in 2007. In 2014, Microsoft finally bought Nokia's phone business for $7.2 billion. And just 3 years later, Microsoft wrote off the entire acquisition, admitting total failure. The once mighty Nokia brand was gone. The fall of Nokia wasn't just about one company, it was a wake-up call for the entire tech industry. Within 7 years, Nokia went from number 1 in mobile phones to almost zero market share. In 2007, Nokia sold more phones than Apple, Samsung, and HTC combined. By 2013, it was out of the top 5. Thousands of employees lost their jobs. Finland's economy, where Nokia once contributed 4% of GDP, took a heavy hit. But the story doesn't end in total darkness. After selling its phone business, Nokia reinvented itself as a telecom network company, building 5G infrastructure and licensing technology. It's not the giant it once was, but it's still alive. A reminder that even fallen giants can evolve. So what can we learn from Nokia's fall? Lesson 1. Never get comfortable at the top. Success breeds arrogance, and arrogance blinds you to change. Lesson 2. Listen to the market, not your ego. Nokia ignored clear signals that consumers wanted touchscreen smartphones. Lesson 3. Innovation means killing your darlings. Sometimes you must let go of what made you successful to survive the next wave. Lesson 4. Company culture matters. A culture that hides bad news will always fail in fast-moving industries. And finally, adaptation beats tradition. The moment you stop learning, someone else will replace you. Nokia's story isn't just a corporate tragedy. It's a lesson in humility and innovation. So the next time you're at the top of your game, remember, stay hungry, stay curious. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Nokia's rise and fall, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another story about business empires, innovation, and the lessons behind their success or failure. This is Casecraft, and I'll see you in the next case study.